Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News Today, 24th March 2026. Equivalent Islamic calendar, 5th of Shawwal, 1447 after Hijrah. I am Hamida Muhammad Idris. In the headlines. President Tinubu disposes 100,000 CNG conversion kit nationwide to mitigate petrol price hike impacts. Former Vice President Atiku accuses Tinubu of strangling democracy. Troops of the Nigerian Army strike Bel-Tuju's camp and kill scores of terrorists. On the international scene, European Union says ceasefire critical for global energy supplies amid Iran war. And on sports update, Nigeria and Rwanda to meet in 2026 Women's Invitational Cricket Tournament today. Details of these and more will be coming to you in the bulletin. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the immediate distribution of about 200,000 compressed natural gas CNG conversion kit nationwide as part of measures to cushion the impact of rising petrol prices on Nigerian commuters. Executive Chairman of the Presidential Initiative on CNG, Ismail Ahmad, announced this to State House correspondents after a meeting with the President in Abuja. The move is coming amid the escalating conflict in the Middle East. He said others form part of a broader strategy by the federal government to reduce transportation costs and expand alternative energy options as global tensions, particularly the ongoing United States-Israel war with Iran, continue to exert pressure on international oil prices, pushing up the cost of petrol and diesel. Ahmed also explained that Tinubu has been monitoring global development and their implications for Nigeria's economy, particularly the effect of the Middle East conflict on fuel prices and transportation costs. He also added that the corridor includes key routes stretching from Lokoja through Abuja, Kaduna and Zaria to Kano and Maiduguri. Nigeria is partnering the European Union (EU) to explore critical raw materials, investment, trade, and cybersecurity to deepen ties amid serious global security situation. The High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Kaja Kallas, made this known after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos. Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, confirmed the meeting in a statement in which he highlighted the commitment of both parties to deeper cooperation. Kallas, who led the EU delegation, told the journalists that the consultations centered on security, trade and commodities, with both sides identifying new areas for collaboration. The EU official also stressed the need for countries that value the international rule-based system to strengthen cooperation in the face of global uncertainties. President Tinubu, while responding, assured the EU of Nigeria's commitment to strengthening the partnership and expressed appreciation for previous support for the country. Still in the news, Presidency has said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state visit to the United Kingdom marked a significant turning point in bilateral relations, with new agreement expected to deepen economic, trade and security cooperation. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, who made this known in a statement in Abuja, described the visit hosted by the King Charles III as a strategic reset that has repositioned Nigeria-UK relations beyond historical ties toward a modern partnership anchored on investment and shared security interests. Special Assistant to the Minister on Communication and News Media, Magnus Eze, in a statement said the two-day visit had produced key outcomes, including a £746 million port partnership agreement alongside strength collaboration in technology and security. She also added that discussions between Tinubu and British officials, including Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Downing Street, also focused on joint efforts to combat terrorism, improve digital border management, and address regional instability. Chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has asserted that the ongoing Middle East conflict could force Nigeria and other African countries to adopt COVID-era work from home restrictions if the conflict does not end. He gave the warning after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos, expressing worry about the economic impact of oil price volatility on the continent already burdened by debt. Dangote cited Indonesia's response to energy crisis pressures, where authorities asked workers to operate only 4 days a week and are considering full work from home arrangements similar to the COVID-19 pandemic. The industrialists also warned that Africa will pay a heavy price for a crisis in which the continent has no involvement. Dangote, however, stressed that the crisis will hit hardest at ordinary Africans operating small businesses, especially barbers, bread sellers, and industries dependent on generators for power. Kaduna State government says ongoing reforms in the water sector have begun to yield measurable gains with improved supply and expanded access recorded across the state. The State Commissioner for Information, Ahmed Miyagi, disclosed this as part of activities marking the 2026 World Water Day, highlighting efforts to reposition the sector for sustainability and efficiency. He also added that the reform were driven by Governor Obasani's commitment to improving the quality of life for residents, noting that the administration's approach goes beyond emergency fixes to building a resilient and inclusive water system. Miyagi also noted that at least 1.5 million residents have benefited from improved water, sanitation, and hygiene services under the Sustainable Urban and Rural Water Supply, Sanitation, and Hygiene Program. The Commissioner also added that the initiative had contributed better public health outcomes and enhanced socio-economic activities in communities across the states. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has accused President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of dismantling democracy and pushing Nigeria toward full-blown authoritarian rule with dangerous implications for the entire West African region. The chieftain of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) in a condemnation reacted to what he described as a state-sponsored siege by operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS) on the residences of former Attorney General of the Federation Abubakar Malami, an action he called lawless, vindictive, and politically motivated. Atiku's media office stated that the DSS swooped in to seal Malami's properties shortly after his visit, despite the matter being before the court. He also cautioned that Nigeria is witnessing the rapid erosion of democratic norms under Tinubu-led federal government, with state institutions now reduced to tools of political persecution. Atiku also accused the administration of running a deliberate and coordinated campaign to crush opposition voices and impose total political control ahead of the 2027 general elections. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television. Still to come in the news. Troops of the Nigerian army strike Belaturji's camp and kill scores of terrorists. On the international scene, European Union says ceasefire critical for global energy supplies amid Iran war. And on sport update, Nigeria and Rwanda to meet in 2026 Women's Invitational Cricket Tournament today. Stand by for this and more after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break, and now the news continues. Troops of the Nigerian army have killed scores of terrorists in the notorious terrorist kingpin Belaturji's hideout in Fakai community in Shankafi and Isa local government areas of Zamfara and Sokoto states. A Nigerian army who pleaded for anonymity to reporters that the success was recorded during a prize-gun battle as part of the routine operation against banditry in the areas. Security sources also said the operation was led by the 8th Division Strike Force of the Nigerian Army Sokoto, targeting Turji's camp deep inside Kagara Forest. It also added that during the advanced operation, 2 combat support vehicles developed mechanical faults near Maberaya village in the Isa local government area of Sokoto State, prompting a temporary halt in the troops' movements. In a similar vein, the source described the report of 150 bandits capsized in a boat mishap and died in a river in Sabongida area in Sokoto State as a false report. Also, the National Inland Waters Authority NIWA area manager in Sokoto, Bellabala, also confirmed that the report was fake, adding that the river Sabongida area is not passable. Still on insecurity, some terrorists bombed a bridge linking Wawa and Luma communities in Borgu local government area of Niger State, killing 8 people. It was gathered that the blasted bridge has now disconnected traffic along the Wawa and Luma road, affecting movement of villagers from Babana major border market. An eyewitness account said that terrorists planted IED explosives on the Nuku and Woro road as a vehicle stepped on the planted device, and all the 8 passengers of the vehicle were killed. It was also reported that the bandit had on March 16, 2026 dispatched a letter to 3 districts in Borgu Kingdom demanding payment of 150 million naira from each district within 2 weeks, or else there will be unprecedented attacks. A man who pleaded for anonymity said his people have been living in fear since the letter was delivered to the district heads of the kingdom. On 2027 elections, Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State has ordered all political appointees intending to contest in the 2027 general elections to resign positions. Spokesperson for the governor, Suleiman Bala Idris, gave the directives in a statement during the State Executive Council meeting held at the Government House in Gusau. The statement noted that the resolution is in line with provisions of the Electoral Act as well as the 2027 election timetable released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The governor also instructed the secretary to the state government to issue a circular demanding all political appointees seeking elected positions to step down before the deadline. Similarly, the head of service has been directed to notify civil servants with political ambition to resign in accordance with the law. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Nwesem Wiki took a swipe at Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. Seyi Makinde had entered a political battle he lacked the capacity to finish. Wiki, while speaking at the 107th National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the People's Democratic Party PDP, ridiculed Makinde's reliance on contracts and judicial orders, noting that politicals and shell contracts are not the same thing. Meanwhile, the PDP at the night meeting came up with a resolution to move into its national convention as an unidentified body and adopt a no victor, no vanquish stance to bridge internal divisions. In a communique signed by Abdurrahman Mohammed and Samuel Anyanwu, both chairman and secretary of the party's National Caretaker Working Committee, issued after the session, the NEC officially ratified the reports from the recently concluded local government, states, and zonal congresses. Earlier, chairman of the National Caretaker Working Committee, Abdurrahman Mohammed, said the party has successfully navigated recent legal and political hurdles. Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State says the African Democratic Congress ADC is an insignificant political threat ahead of the 2027 general elections. He made the assertion during an interview on one of the national television program and also expressed support for state policing as a solution to the terrorism and banditry challenges bedeviling the country. So they also argued that the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has no reason to feel threatened by an opposition party that does not control a single state. The governor, while responding to questions about the ADC's growing profile as a leading opposition platform ahead of the 2027, described the narrative of a shifting opposition threat as a recurring political storyline. Sule, while responding to the issue of insecurity, one of the central plans of the ADC's campaign against the Tinubu administration, acknowledged the severity of the challenge, but expressed optimism about state policing as the most effective structural response to the crisis. Moving to the foreign scene, European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen has stressed the need for negotiated peace to bring an end to the Iran war while expressing worry about the ongoing conflicts. Von der Leyen, alongside Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, during a visit to Australia, said it is of utmost importance that they come to a solution that is negotiated and this puts an end to the hostilities that they see in the Middle East. She also added that some EU nations are preparing to assist in a mission to protect the Strait of Hormuz once the war ends. The EU chief noted that they all feel the knock-on effects on gas and oil prices, businesses and societies, adding that the trade channel is critical for the energy supply lines worldwide. Finally, to the sporting scene, Nigeria and Rwanda's female national cricket teams will face off in a potential top-up of the table clash as the 2026 Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's Invitational Tournament titled the Patricia Kambarami Cup heats up. After playing 3 matches, Rwanda topped the points table with 6 points from 3 wins, while Nigeria have also won bouts of their games so far in the tournament. At the Tafawa Balewa Square Oval on Tuesday ahead of the game, new female yellow-green coach Theophilus Ibodeme is keeping his tactical card close to his chest. Today's clash will be their 27th meeting since 2019, as both teams seek to assert their dominance at this year's tournament. Rwanda have won 13 of their previous meetings, one more than the female yellow-green's 12, while one game ended in a tie. Nigeria last won the NCF Women's T20I in 2023, beating Rwanda by 9 runs in Lagos State. Finally, on the news, the top stories again. President Tinubu disposes 100,000 CNG conversion kit nationwide to mitigate petrol price hike impacts. Former Vice President Atiku accuses Tinubu of strangling democracy. Troops of the Nigerian Army strike Bel-Tuju's camp and kill scores of terrorists. On the international scene, European Union says ceasefire critical for global energy supplies amid Iran war. And on sports update, Nigeria and Rwanda to meet in 2026 Women's Invitational Cricket Tournament today. That was Standard Voice Television Global News today. On behalf of the production crew led by Ilya Adam Auta, I am Hamida Muhammad Idris. Thank you for investing your time and staying with the news. Eid Mubarak.